Usability is the ease of use and learnability of a human-made object. The object of use can be a software application, website, book, tool, machine, process, or anything a human interacts with. A usability study may be conducted as a primary job function by a usability analyst or as a secondary job function by designers, technical writers, marketing personnel, and others. It is widely used in consumer electronics, communication, and knowledge transfer objects and mechanical objects such as a door handle or a hammer. Usability includes methods of measuring usability, such as needs analysis and the study of the principles behind an object's perceived efficiency or elegance. In human-computer interaction and computer science, usability studies the elegance and clarity with which the interaction with a computer program or a website is designed. Usability differs from user satisfaction and user experience because usability also considers usefulness. Introduction. The primary notion of usability is that an object designed with a generalized user's psychology and physiology in mind is, for example, more efficient to use, takes less time to accomplish a particular task, easier to learn, operation can be learned by observing the object, more satisfying to use. Complex computer systems find their way into everyday life, and at the same time the market is saturated with competing brands. This has made usability more popular and widely recognized in recent years, as companies see the benefits of researching and developing their products with user-oriented methods instead of technology-oriented methods. By understanding and researching the interaction between product and user, the usability expert can also provide insight that is unattainable by traditional company-oriented market research. For example, after observing and interviewing users, the usability expert may identify needed functionality or design flaws that were not anticipated. A method called Contextual Inquiry does this in the naturally occurring context of the user's own environment. In the user-centered design paradigm, the product is designed with its intended users in mind at all times. In the user-driven or participatory design paradigm, some of the users become actual or de facto members of the design team. The term user-friendly is often used as a synonym for usable, though it may also refer to accessibility. Usability describes the quality of user experience across websites, software, products, and environments. There is no consensus about the relation of the terms ergonomics and usability. Some think of usability as the software specialization of the larger topic of ergonomics. Others view these topics as tangential, with ergonomics focusing on physiological matters and usability focusing on psychological matters. Usability is also important in website development. According to Jacob Nielsen, studies of user behavior on the web find a low tolerance for difficult designs or slow sites. People don't want to wait, and they don't want to learn how to use a homepage. There's no such thing as a training class or a manual for a website. People have to be able to grasp the functioning of the site immediately after scanning the homepage, for a few seconds at most. Otherwise, most casual users simply leave the site and browse or shop elsewhere. Definition. ISO defines usability as the extent to which a product can be used by specified users to achieve specified goals with effectiveness, efficiency, and satisfaction in a specified context of use. The word usability also refers to methods for improving ease of use during the design process. Usability consultant Jacob Nielsen and computer science professor Ben Schneiderman have written about a framework of system acceptability, where usability is a part of usefulness, and is composed of learnability. How easy is it for users to accomplish basic tasks the first time they encounter the design? Efficiency. Once users have learned the design, how quickly can they perform tasks? Memorability. When users return to the design after a period of not using it, how easily can they re-establish proficiency? Errors. How many errors do users make? How severe are these errors, and how easily can they recover from the errors? Satisfaction. How pleasant is it to use the design? Usability is often associated with the functionalities of the product, in addition to being solely a characteristic of the user interface. For example, in the context of mainstream consumer products, an automobile lacking a reverse gear could be considered unusable according to the former view, and lacking an utility according to the latter view. When evaluating user interfaces for usability, the definition can be as simple as the perception of a target user of the effectiveness and efficiency of the interface. Each component may be measured subjectively against criteria, e.g., principles of user interface design, to provide a metric, often expressed as a percentage. It is important to distinguish between usability testing and usability engineering. Usability testing is the measurement of ease of use of a product or piece of software. In contrast, usability engineering is the research and design process that ensures a product with good usability. Usability is a non-functional requirement. As with other non-functional requirements, usability cannot be directly measured but must be quantified by means of indirect measures or attributes such as, for example, the number of reported problems with ease of use of a system. Intuitive interfaces. The term intuitive is often listed as a desirable trait in usable interfaces, often used as a synonym for learnable. Some experts such as Jeff Raskin have discouraged using this term in user interface design, claiming that easy-to-use interfaces are often easy because of the user's exposure to previous similar systems. Thus, the term familiar should be preferred. As an example, two vertical lines on media player buttons do not intuitively mean pause, they do so by convention. Aiming for intuitive interfaces could lead designers to discard a better designed solution only because it would require a novel approach. This position is sometimes illustrated with the remark that the only intuitive interface is the nipple, everything else is learned. Bruce Tognazzini even denies the existence of intuitive interfaces, since such interfaces must be able to intuit, i.e., perceive the patterns of the user's behavior and draw inferences. Instead, he advocates the term intuitable, i.e., that users could intuit the workings of an application by seeing it and using it. He continues, however, but even that is a less than useful goal since only 25% of the population depends on intuition to perceive anything. ISO standards. ISO TR 16982 to 2002. ISO TR 16982 to 2002 is a standard that provides information on human-centered usability methods that can be used for design and evaluation. It details the advantages, disadvantages, and other factors relevant to using each usability method. It explains the implications of the stage of the life cycle and the individual project characteristics for the selection of usability methods and provides examples of usability methods in context. The main users of ISO TR 16982 to 2002 are project managers. It therefore addresses technical human factors and ergonomics issues only to the extent necessary to allow managers to understand their relevance and importance in the design process as a whole. The guidance in ISO TR 16982 to 2002 can be tailored for specific design situations by using the lists of issues characterizing the context of use of the product to be delivered. Selection of appropriate usability methods should also take account of the relevant life cycle process. ISO TR 16982 to 2002 is restricted to methods that are widely used by usability specialists and project managers. It does not specify the details of how to implement or carry out the usability methods described. ISO 9241. ISO 9241 is a multi-part standard that covers a number of aspects of people working with computers. Although originally titled Ergonomic Requirements for Office Work with Visual Display Terminals, It has been retitled to the more generic ergonomics of human-system interaction. As part of this change, ISO is renumbering the standard so that it can include many more topics. The first part to be renumbered was Part 10. Part 1 is a general introduction to the rest of the standard. Part 2 addresses task design for working with computer systems. Parts 3 to 9 deal with physical characteristics of computer equipment. Parts 110 and Parts 11 to 19 deal with usability aspects of software, including Part 110 and Part 11. Designing for usability. Any system designed for people should be easy to use, easy to learn, easy to remember, and helpful to users. John Gould and Clayton Lewis recommend that designers striving for usability follow these 3 design principles: early focus on users and tasks, empirical measurement, iterative design. Early focus on users and tasks. The design team should be user-driven and in direct contact with potential users. Several evaluation methods, including personas, cognitive modeling, inspection, inquiry, prototyping, and testing methods may contribute to understanding potential users. Usability considerations, such as who the users are and their experience with similar systems, must be examined. As part of understanding users, this knowledge must be played against the tasks that the users will be expected to perform. This includes the analysis of what tasks the users will perform, which are most important, and what decisions the users will make while using your system. Designers must understand how cognitive and emotional characteristics of users will relate to a proposed system. One way to stress the importance of these issues in the designer's minds is to use personas, which are made up representative users. See below for further discussion of personas. Another more expensive but more insightful method is to have a panel of potential users work closely with the design team from the early stages. Empirical measurement: test the system early on, and test the system on real users using behavioral measurements. This includes testing the system for both learnability and usability. It is important in this stage to use quantitative usability specifications such as time and errors to complete tasks and number of users to test, as well as examine performance and attitudes of the users testing the system. Finally, reviewing or demonstrating a system before the user tests it can result in misleading results. The emphasis of empirical measurement is on measurement, both informal and formal, which can be carried out through a variety of evaluation methods. Iterative design: iterative design is a design methodology based on a cyclic process of prototyping, testing, analyzing, and refining a product or process. Based on the results of testing, the most recent iteration of a design, changes and refinements are made. This process is intended to ultimately improve the quality and functionality of a design. In iterative design, interaction with the design system is used as a form of research for informing and evolving a project, as successive versions or iterations of a design are implemented. The key requirements for iterative design are identification of required changes, an ability to make changes, and a willingness to make changes. When a problem is encountered, there is no set method to determine the correct solution. Rather, there are empirical methods that can be used during system development or after the system is delivered, usually a more inopportune time. Ultimately, iterative design works towards meeting goals such as making the system user-friendly, easy to use, easy to operate, simple, etc.